Just mic'd up with Mikie Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got Mitch. We got Jackie boy.
He tried to jump up and he might have knocked it in.
Good time. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys would come in and say,
oh, God.
So me and Joe on the ground. I got Joe in the headlock, and he's sitting there. Helmet. He's punching me in the stomach, like steady punching me.
Here, and there's everyone sitting around. Who here thinks Ovchinko can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad's been with the team 6 minutes for 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Ovchinko can practice today. And I was like, I look back, I'm like, Jesus Christ, I fucking saw you there. You were more fucked up than me.
On the Spirit plane had some issues. I think she was sleep farting.
You heard her, or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her. I smelled.
Whoa. What was that?
Time to start the show.
Why would I have that? Oh, God, you had a circus or something.
6:03, I'm late. Like, I don't even know what I'd be doing.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you going to bring your chinchilla and your turtle? My dad tell you about it?
The SEC is, God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? And it's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they're
all fatter than I am.
Players, look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
I mean, you're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
Yeah.
He was like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now. Hello. Good morning. Welcome back to Mic'd Up. Today is Friday,
Good night.
June 2nd. It is Happy Regional Day, Happy Postseason. The postseason starts today at 2 o'clock. Anybody that's going out there to watch the game, we will be out there. Look for us. It's also going to be hot as shit. So be prepared. Plan accordingly. I don't know how you plan for that. But, you know, maybe bring some drinks. Maybe go buy some drinks.
Maybe a
do
Heineken
something.
Silver.
Maybe a Heineken Silver. Lloyd, we got one chilling for you. We got to do that before we go. It's going to be a short show. We have an hour show. Obviously, we want to give you a little bit of a pregame going into the first game of the postseason. We're all going to be there. I know everybody's trying to get out there, so we're not going to keep you too late and too long. But we're here, and we're going to talk about it. Let's run through these Heineken headlines really quick. Obviously, LSU plays today at 2 o'clock. Jay is holding it real close. Has not announced, not that Jay, not Jay Mitch, Jay Johnson, is holding his decisions close to the vest right now. Has not released the lineup, has not released starting pitcher. Which
How long do you have? An hour?
45 minutes to an hour, I think
it's an hour.
before the game. I think he's going to wait till then, you think? I'd imagine we hear it here soon. Like, it's 11:35. I'd imagine Jay's going to let it, like, you know, they're going to make the announcement here soon. Since we're on the show live, people in the chat, our clubbies, go ahead and give us some information if we don't have it. If we get it first, we'll obviously announce it here on the show. Oregon State and Sam Houston, the other two teams in our regional, they play tonight at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. Is it 8 p.m. or 7 p.m.? I thought it was 8. So it's 8 Eastern, 7 Central? Because it says 8 p.m. is my
Other
question.
than it's 8 p.m.
It's 8 p.m. NBA Finals started last night. Game 1 was last night. The Nuggets took Game 1. They looked really impressive doing it. Nikola Jokic is a unicorn.
Advertised.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
Probably better.
Jimmy Butler, disappointing night for him as far as like what I thought he was going to do. It happens. Listen, and this is not an excuse. And we're not going to sit here and talk a ton about basketball. I just want to bring it up because it is happening in the sports world, and we are mainly 7, so it is Eastern Central thing.
I don't know. It just
Because
says
on
Friday,
the on
June
the
2nd, 7
on the
p.m.
schedule it says 8 p.m.
Look at the schedule right now. It's 7 p.m.
I know, but the bracket says 8 p.m. So it's
I
Eastern
guess
time.
Eastern time is still the standard time for
Absolutely.
everybody, even
Absolutely.
if you're hosting a regional in Baton Rouge.
Yeah. So when you go to play baseball in Colorado, the ball flies more. Obviously, the altitude's there, and things happen a little differently. Pitchers, the breaking balls don't break as much. They kind of hold up, and that's what makes it more of a hitter's park.
Sinkers don't sink.
Sinkers don't sink. Same thing in football, right? Like, obviously, the altitude's there. It's harder to catch your breath. Things are, differently. Just because you're inside doesn't mean things change. You're still there in that atmosphere, in that thin air. So, maybe they had to take a little game to get used to it. But I think Denver's better than them. They put on a show. They go up 1-0. But nobody's here to talk about the NBA Finals as much as I do like them and as much as hopefully everybody's paying attention to it. We're here to talk LSU baseball, LSU sports. Before we get to LSU baseball, LSU football, SEC football in particular, announced that they are going to stick with the 8-game schedule this year. For now. So,
but no divisions.
No divisions, not this year, but 2024.
Yeah, but say this year is still.
This year is still divisions. 2024, no divisions. That's when Oklahoma and Texas come into the league.
Yeah.
They will have no divisions. 8-game schedule. I imagine is probably going to go to a 9-game conference schedule at some point. But
You're trying to get that TV money, dog.
absolutely, and doesn't seem like the athletic directors are
all on the same page.
Yeah, right. And Eli, how about the head coach from Missouri coming out there and talking about, man, all these guys in NIL are getting more money than my brother who's a physician. Hey, bitch, you're getting more money than your brother who's a physician. He's saving lives, is what you said. Are you saving lives? No, but you're making $4 million. You want to get some of your money back? Save that. Miss me with that. Oh, you're making more money than a doctor. So is all other athletes that are getting promoted. You're making fun money for somebody, right? If you are making some money for school or a business or whoever, you should get paid for your contributions to said organization.
Is he a physician on the SEC network?
Yeah, I mean,
well, not just that. Let's not mix this thing up. NIL money is not why you guys are not competitors in this league.
Right.
Like,
no doubt.
Let's keep
no
it
doubt.
true.
Let's not
Let's not
die on that hill. Let's not die on that hill. But the way he said it and the example he gave to me, let's try that one again. I think you missed on the trying to make it relatable. When you're making more money than the physician, I don't think you can throw stones at other people who are playing sports making more money than a physician. I don't care if they're
anybody in this
15 years old or 25 years old. I don't care. But now to LSU baseball. This is their first game of the regional. They play today at 2:00. I like the early game. Obviously, you get the first one out the way. You're able to go out and watch the next game. I guess the players probably aren't going to watch it, but the coaches will go out there, watch the teams play in person. They've already done their scouting on these guys. They've gone through the numbers. They've seen video, but seeing them play in person is a little different. So you play that early game. Hopefully you get through that game, you win that one, then you get to go and you scout the next team. So you play the winner of that 7:00 game the next day at 7 p.m. on Saturday. So I think there's obviously a clear advantage to playing that early game. It's going to be hot, but here's the deal: whether it's 2:00 or 7:00, it's going to be hot. Now the sun's not going to be out at 7. It'll be coming down at 7, but it's still going to be hot. You're still going to have to figure it out, and pretty humid. We've all put some wagers on this game. I bet the over. Lloyd, you bet the over. And you bet anything else?
I bet LSU to win the regional.
Okay.
Put that in there. It's
what was that?
-160, 180.
Okay.
So more palatable than the -600.
-600
it
to
is
win.
on the run line to beat Tulane today.
Yeah, I took the over 14. That's a lot. It's a lot, but I think I'm gonna take it.
So
I think it's gonna. They're gonna get there. I'm just nervous.
Which means that you obviously don't think Skeens is throwing today. Which is
I do not think Skeens is throwing, but I think LSU,
rumors.
regardless who's throwing, I think LSU is gonna score a bunch of runs. Tulane has a 7 or 8 team ERA for the year. 7 for the year. So I think that obviously they're going to try to throw their best guy, but their best guy compared to the best guys that LSU has faced throughout the course of the year, I'd imagine that LSU is very well prepared for the game today. I'd imagine you see the whole lineup. Tommy White's going to be back in the lineup. Not confirmed. I'm just assuming.
I would imagine. Yeah.
I'm assuming he's going to be back in the lineup. You're going to have the whole team at full strength. They've had about a week off. They are rested, ready to go, and I'd imagine that – actually, I don't want to imagine. I know. This is now postseason baseball. This is their second season, right? You have 3 seasons. I guess you got technically 4 seasons, but you have non-conference, you have conference, postseason baseball, but I like to cut up postseason baseball into 2. You got the regional and super regional, and then once you get to Omaha, that's a whole different deal. And so – these guys are ready to go. I believe, we've talked about this on Wednesday, I believe that LSU is going to start Thatcher today. We don't know that. It's going to come out here soon. I believe that is the best route to go. You go your number 3 starter first, then you have your ace throwing tomorrow, and he's going to put you in a situation where you're up 2-0, and then you rely on your number 2 guy who's been pretty good over the last month and a half to finish this thing off on Sunday. I have more confidence right now as we speak in Ty Floyd pitching the championship game on Sunday than Thatcher. It has nothing to do with Thatcher not being good enough or talented enough. It's just based off of the track record of the year. Ty Floyd has been more consistent in that role all year, and I think that he's earned the right for that opportunity. But like I said, there's a lot of things that can happen in postseason baseball. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to go watch it. Baseball at the box is something that everybody should experience. But let's go around the room. Jay, what do you feel about today, this weekend? What you see from the boys?
Well, I mean, we've made it here, right? You have now reached the 100-meter dash of the baseball season, right? This is the sprint. This is where kind of everything that's every reserve you have is put to the side, and it's whatever you can to win every single game that you're in right now. And I know that's what people say a lot, but that's not truly how it's approached during the year. You've reached that point of the year. I expect, they had a long layoff. The guys got to come home a little early, whether you look at it as a good thing or a bad thing. Got a full week off. I expect you to see a very energetic, very rejuvenated team, and I expect a lineup. That's, Mikey took the over in this game, and that's what I expect to see. I expect to see hitters that seem to be rested, seem to be mentally sharp in there, and I expect to see him grind out at bats all day to really make it difficult for this Tulane pitching staff in this first game. And I do like the over in that situation, but I expect to see a lot of energy. They've been talking about this since they put this team together, before they had fall meetings, before any of this kind of went down, right? Since last summer, since you knew all these guys were coming here, this has been the conversation. This is what you did all of everything that you've done this year for. So I expect to see that being reflected in what you see in their body language and how they go about their business this weekend.
Agreed. What about y'all? Anything you want to see or not see?
I think the crowd's going to be electric.
Today, you think the 2:00 game is going to be electric?
I'll tell you what, if you get an electric crowd this afternoon,
tomorrow
will be ridiculous.
Well, tomorrow there's going to be a ton of people, because you have to think there's only 2 potential times you're going to be able to watch Paul Skeens pitch again. Here in Baton Rouge, right? And so it's tomorrow and then the Supers. So, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Keep going.
Well, no, I was saying all weekend. It's been 4 years since there's been postseason ball here, and I think
that's crazy.
People have been waiting a long time.
Crazy.
It's great. I'd like to see Dylan get going, though, like specifically players. I'd like to see Dylan get going again after the long layoff, the rest, reset.
I think it's good.
And I would like to see Thatcher have another good outing, because that'd be a good,
gone 5 his last 2 starts.
I'd like to see him. I'd like to maybe sneak his way into the 7th today. like really start to take that next jump of like, damn, you are
What we
figuring it
thought
out
you
right
were.
now. Yeah, you're at the perfect time.
For my thoughts on the thing is, it feels like whether it be just watching some of this stuff with like the LSU baseball team, Jay Johnson, this is what they've been waiting for. They're done with the bullshit. Like, it feels like they've locked in, almost, especially when you look at what happened in Hoover, where it feels like they won a game and then kind of shut it down a little bit to where, all right, we've got some good information for the fact that we're going to host a regional, which means we'll host a super if we're able to win our regional. So everything that we came to play for is done. We checked off the regular season list. Next thing on the list, let's get some rest, get ready for regionals. And it feels like that's everything that they've built this whole season up toward, because he talks a lot about we've approached every series as if it's a playoff game. Well, now you're in the playoffs, coach. So you've been approaching it this way, and you've had a particular mindset, and it feels like they've really like kind of battened down the hatches and said,
Yeah.
this is what we're playing for.
Well,
Like the real season is here.
Yeah, it's put up or shut up time for them, because it's like there's no, hey, we faltered on a weekend. It's okay. We've been really good all year. We're still really
nothing to
talented.
hang your hat on.
We can get there with next week, and we'll regroup. There's no next weekends. This is the weekends, right? Like
It's the weekend. It's the game. Every
You have
time
to,
you
yeah.
go out there, this is the sprint.
This is it.
This is it.
This is it. Like, I don't care how like if you're hurt. I don't care if you're not feeling good with your swing.
Are you available or are you not?
You're in there. You're in there. You gotta. This is all hands on deck. Figure this thing out. Survive in advance. Move on and get to where you need to be. If you get to, when you get to Omaha, anything can happen once you get to that point. But you've got to battle through there to get there. They're playing Tulane. Obviously, we've talked about that. Tulane as a team is hitting 250 on the year. Not great. Not the worst I've seen. But 82 homers, so they do pop the ball at the ballpark. They strike out a little bit.
Turchin isn't the biggest ballpark.
Too much. Not the biggest, but it's also not a ballpark
It's
that
not a
like
bandbox
that.
either.
Yeah, that flies. It doesn't fly too much. They have T.O. Banks was the AAC tournament MVP. He had 303 on the year with 11 doubles, 1 triple, 18 homers, and 51 RBIs. Right, so he drives the ball at the ballpark, and then their catcher has 9 home runs with 50 RBIs, and they have an infield outfielder who's got 13 homers. So they have 3 guys on their team that
can leave
the ballpark at any moment. And look, they were the 7th. They were the number 7 team, number 7 seed in the AAC. How many teams are in that league?
Sounds like 8 at least.
I mean, can't be 7. It's got to be more than 7.
Can't
right?
be 7.
But my point is there are 19 and 40.
Who made it with a worse record?
That's what I'm getting at.
There are 2, 4, 6, 8 teams. South Florida just missed the
8
cut.
teams.
7 and
So-
17.
So I guess they all make the tournament.
So were they last in the tournament?
7. They're 7 seeds. So I guess
No, South Florida was an 8 seed. And they lost 2 straight.
I was about to say, you just said they just missed. Okay, so there you go.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, listen. Beauty of baseball, beauty of sports. They weren't supposed to be where they're at. They're here now.
And they're here, and they're
playing good
spitting
baseball.
that same message right now.
Absolutely.
Too. That's the
supposed to
beauty
be
of
here.
sports, and that's the scary part of it, right? That's why when you get here, it's all hands on deck because everyone knows, like, hey, this might be our last. Don't make it our last. Like, keep going.
The last night out. Like, boys, we're here. I'm not supposed to be here, but we're here. Let's have that's the scariest thing I would imagine if you're LSU is that they're playing with absolutely nothing to lose, which is something that you always have to account for. Is like they're going to throw everything at us because they ain't supposed to be here. It's supposed to be fun.
They will.
Like, and LSU probably feels. I'm not going to say they feel tight, but they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So that's what you want as a coach to be like. Hey,
You want
remember who you are.
It's a very fine line to walk. Like you want them to understand the urgency, I guess, on the other side of it. But at the same time, too, you want them to also understand, like, you're here for a reason. You've put up the numbers you've put up for a reason. Don't let them down when you go out there. Meaning, like, don't show up and play to their level. Let them know that you are exactly who they thought you were.
Don't let them off the hook.
And go do your thing. That's really what it is at this point.
So, and I probably should know this,
But
they have 2 guys who have, like, I'm trying to see who's going to predict who's going to start for Tulane. I don't know if they've come out with it. They have 2 starters that I would imagine would be the guys starting. Both of them have 15 starts on the year, right? The only 2 starters on the team that have more than
Or you're definitely getting one of them.
double digits, right? Ricky Castro has a 5.1 ERA. He's got 82 innings pitched, 83 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting 288 against him. He's given up 14 pumps. And then the other guy is Dylan Carmouche, 5.4 ERA.
He's from UI.
He's from UI?
I think that's who's throwing for them.
And the reason why I'm saying I agree with you is because he's got 86 innings pitched, but he's got 100 punches. So he has a little bit more strikeout.
He went to Mississippi State out of high school and then transferred to Tulane.
There you go.
Okay.
But he gives up. Look, opponents are in 281 against him. So
You think he's going to be a little nervous?
they obviously give up hits. But listen, guys like that from Baton Rouge that come in here and like sometimes they put up a performance that like wow.
If he throws, I'm gonna be honest with you. If he throws, I don't think you're gonna get a nervous him. I think you're gonna get a charged up.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't I get an offer him?
No, he definitely got an offer. He just didn't come here.
Oh. Okay.
He might have got more somewhere else. So
Probably maybe looks. Never mind. I'm not gonna go there. But yeah, so that's
you said he went to State first and then transferred to Tulane, right? There you go.
yeah. So Carmouche's probably gonna start. I'm not worried about. I'm not saying worried about it, but like I think that the lineup is pretty equipped and they're experienced with the guys that they faced, the talent that they faced. But you said it right. Dylan needs to get going. Right, Dylan needs to be the guy that he expects to be, and I think he will. I really am pretty confident in his ability to, be the player that we need him to be. LSU needs him to be. I think that he's gone through his last few weeks of struggling, and I think he's going to break out in a big way. I think he's going to have a monster postseason. Obviously, Tommy White's going to do what he's been doing. He's going to get to 100 RBIs here soon, whether it's going to be in the regional or the super regional. And I think that they are pretty equipped. We talked about it a little on Wednesday. Depending on who's starting is, I think, how the lineup's going to be constructed. I think if there's a lefty on the mound, I believe that you're gonna see Trey in left, right, and then you're gonna
Jared
have
at first.
No, not Jared at first.
Travinsky at first.
I think you're gonna see Cade at first. I think Cade's in the lineup. And Travinsky, depending on what they do at the catch, if Travinsky's starting, right, then you put.
You might get if there's a lefty on the mound,
unless he stinks clean in there.
I think you go with Travinsky at first. That way you don't burn the DH. In that
but does he have confidence that Travinsky at first? Is the question.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's gonna be who do you have more confidence in, Travinsky at first, or if he's catching? If he's catching, he's fine, right? And then I would imagine you put Beloso at first.
Yeah.
And then you still have your DH spot. Or maybe they do keep Trey at first base, even with a lefty on the mound.
Because they feel good about Pearson or Joe.
Because they feel good about Pearson and Joe Barrett in the outfield phase. I think that he's going to try to get both those guys in the lineup as much as he can.
Yeah.
Pearson and Joe Barrett. I think that, Pearson has kind of turned the corner this year and just playing really well. He's having really good at-bats. I think in the postseason, even though you don't get hits with your at-bats, if you're grinding through at-bats and you're having productive outs, I think that's just as important as getting a base hit, right? Obviously, unless you're driving somebody in. And I think Pearson does that really well, so I think he's going to want him in the lineup.
I touched on it before, dude. I really do think and I'm obviously not saying that every big moment or every clutch hit or every diving play has to be those guys, but I do think in college baseball, when the postseason comes, your stars have to be stars. They have to show up. They have to play well. They have to have meaningful at-bats. They have to play good defense. They have to pitch it well. Because that's how you kind of keep going. This isn't – I think when you get into pro ball and when you get into Major League Baseball, you can easily find maybe the guy hitting 6th or 7th who's kind of been up and down all year all of a sudden get hot. And he ends up being the one that carries your team, right? I think that's a lot more common in professional baseball. But in college baseball, the teams that usually go far, play well, get into where you want them to be are the ones that has their stars still playing really well.
Yep.
Not saying they have to have every big moment – but they played really well at those times.
No doubt. And, like, some of these guys that, like, the stars have to do what they do, right? They have to be the guys running, like, leading the ship. But, the role player guys are the guys who are good, but, maybe not as good as Dylan or
you don't expect.
You need those guys, but you also need those guys to come up with some big moments, right? They don't have to do it consistently, like, oh, this guy's going to hit 400, 500 through the postseason. No. But I need you to drive some guys in. I need you to do the little things in baseball that add up to wins, right? Smart baseball, winning baseball plays, moving guys over, making sure you make all of the right plays, make sure you're running the bases well, taking extra base, like all of those things in the postseason matter.
And when you talk about having stars play well, that sets up role players to be able to play well because there's not as much pressure on you.
Right.
You see, okay, people are getting hits, people are getting knocks. You fall into the flow of the game as opposed to, shit, I'm up, second and third, nobody out, we don't have any runs. It's second and third, 2 outs, and it falls to the 7-8 hole guy, and you're just like, this really isn't the role for me. And, Cruz is 0 for 2, Tommy's 1 for 3, and it's like, oh, God, we got to find some runs somewhere. That's when people start to press, right? Yeah. So if you get performance from Cruz, Tanks, the guys that you expect to show out, then everybody kind of falls in line. It's like, all right, now we're rolling. Because you get nervous when your stars aren't playing well.
And here's the deal: is like, look, everybody wants to have 15 hits a game and 10 runs a game, and that's what would be ideal. But to me, the most important thing is as long as you're putting pressure on the opposing pitching staff and the opposing defense, which means you're getting people on base and you're in scoring position consistently throughout the game, that is the most important thing. Because the more and people are saying, oh, they didn't do it in the SEC tournament. I don't care. They've done it all year, right? They've driven guys out. They've driven guys in with runners in scoring position all year. So you continue to put pressure on the opposing team and the opposing pitching staff and the opposing defense, the runs are going to come. Like, they're not going to go 0 for 22.
They're not going 1 for 17
whatever
again.
it was. They're not doing that consistently.
Yeah.
And if they do, they don't deserve to go to Omaha.
No, exactly. And I 100% agree with you. And I think about on the year, like the sample of them on the year, is you watched a team who arguably, and it doesn't matter really if it ended in a strikeout, ended in a hit, ended in a walk. I'm not talking about the actual outcome of the at-bat, but you watched a team who I would probably say had to be top 3 to 5 in making pitchers work and literally extending at bats and literally fouling pitches off and literally taking close pitches and extending at bats, just like you said, putting pressure on the other end, right? Now you watched them not do it in the SEC tournament, and that resulted into 2 losses at the score of 5-4. So what happens if they get 1 to 2 or 3 more hits, right? I think you're watching a team who over the course of the year has shown up in those moments way more than not. And I think that you're going to see that side of them show again once this postseason starts.
Agreed.
It just feels like they've been waiting for this. It almost feels like the regular season, while it wasn't ho-hum and like, okay, it almost felt like towards the end of it, it's like,
a little stale.
Let's get through it.
Let's get through it.
We're playing for something much bigger than this weekend series.
Yeah, and obviously we talk a lot about the starting pitching. Let's talk a lot about, hey, Thatcher pitching really well recently. Like, that's a big jump and that's a big boost to the staff. Still agree with that. Still think that's important. But you need these guys in the bullpen to be consistent. Continue to be consistent. I was not discouraged at all with how the bullpen pitched in Hoover. I think they threw well. They didn't give up a ton of runs, and they competed, and that's what you need them to do. And hopefully, your starting pitching can put you in a situation where you don't have to use a lot of the guys in extended innings in the bullpen.
And if you want to evaluate kind of what Hoover was, I feel like it was Jay trying to figure out people's roles. We talked about it a lot, like tinkering. He still was tinkering with the lineup a little bit, especially when you saw the bullpen. You saw Cooper come in and get 7 Ks. Like, all right, now I feel like I can trust you a little bit. I don't mind. He loves a big spot, so you still know that about Cooper. You found out things. You saw Gavin Guidry come in. Like, you saw things where you were able to evaluate which is potentially a weak spot on your team and make decisions about it based off what you saw in competitive games in Hoover. Because like y'all said, they don't want to lose these games. Like, you can put out whatever lineup you want, but if you're out there, what's the point of playing if you're not trying to play to win? You could tell that they wanted to win.
Right.
It was just
you're not going
to
play a game and not try to win.
Right. I'm out here.
So I'm not. Look, the bullpen is obviously always going to be a concern because it's been so up and down. But I think that the guys are throwing well out of the pen, like well enough out of the pen to where it doesn't worry me near as much as it did 3.5 weeks ago.
Thatcher's the key, man. We talked about it. Like I said, you lost 2 games in the SEC tournament, 5-4. I'll be damned if you'll sit here and say, "Oh, the bullpen blew them." Right? I think a big key to that was you got quality innings out of your starters, and now you don't have to overextend those young guys who are literally learning on the fly right now. I think if you're able to get good innings out of the starters, you'll find a team that's in the game with a chance to win, if not already ahead, because of this lineup is that good.
And we've talked so much about the pitching. You can't forget that, what you just said, how good the offense can be. Like, if you're playing a team with the ERA sub-7, you really don't have – I think too much is being made of Thatcher or whoever's throwing, because if LSU goes out there and bangs like they're supposed to, then you don't really have to worry about it. If you put up, 8 runs conservatively, you feel like you have a pretty good chance to win.
Yeah, right. 100%, right? It just if you score 8 runs, you should win.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way it works, and that's the way it goes. And I think that, they're in a good position. I think that they are finally like, okay, we're where we need to be. We're in the moment of the season where we've been looking forward to. Let's go out and enjoy this thing.
It's like senioritis.
Yeah, exactly. We told y'all it's going to be a short show. We're not over yet. We got 30 minutes left. We're going to get everybody out here plenty enough time. As I'm talking here and filibustering. Filibustering.
It's not Philip.
I'm not Phila.
Philip Bustering. What? Who's that?
We're going to go get the Heineken Silver for Lloyd. And look, I'd like for you not to put it in the funnel because I think the funnel still got some schmegma in it.
I tried to clean it the other day, and that's permanent.
It's stained?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay. So
Like
it's actually cleaned?
No, I wouldn't. Whatever's in there is in there.
Yeah.
Because you can't. There's no way to scrub it.
That's true.
There's nothing to get it. I took off the piping, and I was looking. I was like, "There's nothing I can do to get in here."
You have to power wash it.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're gonna chug it because it makes me feel gross whenever you have to go.
I feel gross whenever I see it.
I like for you not to have to do that.
Like a Tuesday.
But
waking up on Wednesday.
This is what we do on Fridays.
Gross.
Lloyd chugs a Heineken Silver for good luck for Dylan Cruz, and usually when he does that, Dylan Cruz has a good weekend. So we are going to do that. Heineken Silver is Heineken's version of their light. It's their light beer, not their version of their light beer. It is their light beer. It's 95.
Shake that thing up for me.
95 cal. Tap the top.
It actually does work.
I know that. That's why I said that. It is 95 calories, 4% alcohol. It is actually very good, very crisp. Put it out in the cooler. Look, when you're tailgating this weekend at LSU in the regionals and hopefully next weekend in the super regionals, go ahead, throw some in your ice chest, and give it a chance. Can't knock anything until you actually try it. But Lloyd, with that being said, you have to put the camera on you.
I know. I want to get the good sound though.
Okay.
Cheers, boys.
Was it ASMR?
Yeah. You want me to whip the microphone?
I mean, okay. I gotta get a little bit more of a tilt than that.
He's got to go down a little quicker right here.
That is a soft chug. Open it up and let it go in there.
I mean, good. You gonna bring this home with you?
Jeez. There we go. No spill though. No spillage.
You do that on regional day. You enjoy it.
Oh yeah,
you want to get one of these?
It's a little cold. It's a little cold there, huh? It's a little cold.
Eyes got
red. It was
real
cold.
I love that. Okay, how did it taste?
So good cold.
How did it taste? Good.
Delicious. That's why I was enjoying it. You don't rush things that taste good.
No,
you know?
Can't rush it.
That's why everybody loves foreplay.
I don't know. Are there any questions in the chat at all or anything?
Thoughts. Here's a quick one.
Because we've broke it down a little bit on Wednesday, so we won't.
Get it all out.
Okay. We broke it down on Wednesday, so we're talking a lot about the same stuff. So let's have some conversation starters.
First one up that I think is something that we haven't touched on, but is a talking point. Lineup. Do you see it changing, or do you go Cruz, Trey,
like order?
White? Yeah.
I think. I think the one thing you're gonna look at different is where's Trey Morgan gonna be. I do think it's still gonna be Cruz at the top with Tommy behind him, or maybe someone in between and then Tommy there. But I guess you could say probably Tommy and Trey are the two
interchangeable.
Well, I'm just looking to see what they do with.
Yeah.
I do think Dylan's at the top though.
I do think Dylan's at the top, and by putting Dylan at the top, I think you're gonna have somebody hitting 9-hole that can swing it.
Yeah.
And it kind of gives that guy some extra protection whenever he comes through in his spot. So, yeah, I do think that it's going to kind of stay the same way. But, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a little tinkering.
Okay, a couple more. Yeah, keep the questions coming in, boys. This is excellent. Do you like Cruz? Tommy White, okay. Yeah, I saw him taking BP yesterday.
You went on watched?
No. I saw WFP did. They just filmed it, so I saw him. But he was taking swings, so I'd imagine you'll see him in the lineup today.
Who? Paul Skeens?
Tommy White? That would be awesome.
Oh, Tom, I thought you said Dylan Cruz. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to play. Saw him too.
I'm sure they're going to play.
From Matthew Hutchins, what do you do with Hurd if our bats get us out to an 8-run lead in the third? Like,
Oh, you keep him in.
keep that. I think you let him go as long as you can.
Let him roll.
Yeah, by taking him out, him throwing three innings, taking him out, he's not going to be available. He's not.
I mean, I just don't. I don't see I really don't see as much value, I guess you could say. And if we're up 8-0 in the third, and he's thrown 45, 50 pitches. If you pull him then to bring him back on Sunday possibly,
Right, and you're wasting bullpen arms.
that's my point.
Yeah.
So you're gonna burn not just him not being at his freshest later in the tournament, but you're also burning these other guys who may not be at their freshest.
You're doing the other team a favor.
So I would let him. Hey, bro, you got it.
Yeah,
The string is yours. Just go ahead and do it.
And I feel like that's where he's pitched his best is when he's given a little bit of a leash, because it feels like he dances around the zone a little bit, and I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of an adjustment period because this is the first time you won't have SEC umpires, so you're getting umpires from a different conference to come do the regional here, so that'll be an adjustment period for sure.
You're not getting Derek?
I don't think so.
You don't know Derek.
There you go.
Oh, I've heard plenty about Derek.
Yeah.
How about that umpsha from the major leagues the other day?
Oh, I want to talk about because I do have a story about that guy, Jerry Lane. What's his name? Not to be confused with Jerry Lane here. But go ahead. I'm gonna tell you this story about him.
But it seems like when Thatcher gets too fine and he starts missing outside or missing wherever, and then he starts walking people, he's almost like he's looking to see if they're warming anybody up. If you just let him run and let him get comfortable, that's when Thatcher's at his best. So I think you see him go 5 regardless, unless the wheels absolutely fall off.
I think the first couple innings are gonna be important for Thatcher to
once he gets in the groove.
Rhythm. I'm not even saying he doesn't need to give up like be perfect through those 2 innings, but if he's around the zone, he's got.
I don't think it's I think when you watch him pitch now, you can almost kind of tell it's not stat line that kind of throws him off. Like you said, when you see him throwing the ball well and he's in a groove and he's throwing the ball, he's throwing strikes and he's locating stuff. I think he's okay to let play whatever happens.
Absolutely, because if he starts getting behind in counts and he's not ahead of counts, but he's missing by this much and he's just kind of getting squeezed or it's a tight zone, I'm fine with that. If he's here and then
we're setting up outside and he's
3 straight, then he throws one down the middle, and then on 3-1 he throws another one up and it's a ball. Okay, now something's a little off kilter.
Would you say he's more of a field pitcher? Like when he feels good. It's almost because some people, it's almost like a track athlete. Okay, I can find it, or like a golf swing. It's I know exactly where my arm slot is. And then if you kind of lose a little bit of that, he doesn't have the trust myself to get out of it. It's I don't feel good.
I think every pitcher is a field pitcher. They pitch better when they're feeling it. But I think for Thatcher, through the course of the year, I think it was a little bit more in the mental part of it, right? I think he was oh, I'm struggling. I'm trying harder not to struggle. And then I think that ended up causing some other issues within his mechanics.
Yeah. And
thinking he needs to do something different. When in reality, it's no, just let me aim small, miss small kind of type of thing. Hey, just let's try to simplify this thing. So I don't know if it's about being comfortable or being in that groove in a feel thing, but because everyone needs that. I think for him, it's just I think he finally feels comfortable with where he's at. Mechanics wise, I
think when it comes to Thatcher too, we're forgetting that his season last year was cut a little short with the back injury, right? And don't get me wrong, he pitched a good bit in the fall, but pitching in the fall when it's cool, when there's 52 people in the stands, if that even, and the numbers don't matter, is a lot different than getting the ball routinely on the weekend in the SEC when all the scouts are here. So being able to ramp it up and do it when it matters after coming off the back injury, just like when you watched Coleman come back in and you're oh my God, he's 94. And then a couple outings later, he's 88. Listen, when you keep getting the ball and it's hot and you're actually at max effort, that thing barks a little different the next day. Same with the back, same with anything else. And I think getting over that period has kind of been where he's been, and I think you're finding him starting to get a little comfortable and kind of understanding where his body is, and that's kind of where I think he's at right now.
Yeah, completely agree.
100%, because that back injury wasn't a joke. He sat out an entire year, so to come back and start pitching again, and then nobody really talked about it, and to see him struggle or I guess because he didn't struggle early on per se, but it started to happen later on, and that could have been fatigue from pitching a lot, like you said, to where it's like,
or just
I don't
maybe
know,
he got
feel
himself
right.
in some bad mechanics,
trying to
bad
avoid the
habits.
back.
But that sometimes happens. That sometimes happen with a, like, you know it as a hitter, bro. Like, it could be, I'm not necessarily hurting, but I may be sore to where I don't feel as good, or as, like, everything's not flowing as easy. I can't get to spots as easy. It's not because I'm hurting. I'm sore. Just like as if you work out one day and you're sore the next day, you don't want to squat as deep anymore. You're not really hurting. I'm just sore. Like, it's going to be going away. And sometimes working through that because you hadn't done it in forever, it takes some time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think he went through a lot of that this year where it's not necessarily hurt, but the soreness of doing it over and over again at that kind of effort level. All right, now I got to work through to figure out how I was doing this before. And I think maybe sometimes it takes time.
Talking me into that he's catching the groove right now.
Oh,
I think he is. I think it's pretty easy to say, honestly. Especially if he goes out and literally, like you said, I wouldn't even say shoves. I imagine that when he's feeling in a groove and throwing things well, he'll shove. But I don't think it's based off of him shoving. It's based off of him feeling and competing and finishing those pitches and landing like breaking balls where he wants to.
No doubt.
We actually have another question if you want it.
All right.
We have two, but this is just one that I've been seeing pop up regularly. And I think it's contingent maybe on LSU getting a lead or a pretty big lead. Any chance you see Christian Little at all this weekend?
Yeah. I think actually it's a huge chance, especially if they get a big lead. It would be huge for that staff, huge for the team, and huge for Christian Little to be able to get out there, throw up some zeros, hold a lead, for them to be able to move forward. I really, really do. And I think they want to get him into
absolutely. And if he doesn't, it may be his last shot this year. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I think that this weekend, out of all the weekends coming up, would be the weekend that you would see him.
Because think of it this way, in a 3 to 4 game sample this weekend, if you don't see him,
you'll never see him.
I won't say ever, but like what confidence would you have to throw him out there in a super regional? If you get to Omaha, now if you get in the losers bracket, you may not have a choice but to throw him. Right? In a certain 2 weeks. You really may not have a choice in a certain situation to throw him. But if he doesn't throw this weekend, what situation would you throw him in next weekend?
Right.
Unless you expect to be down 8-2 in the 8th. I don't really think that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So like I think they really want to get him in this weekend, but the situation's got to be right.
Yeah, because what you saw from him early on, we were all watching the game whenever he came in and kind of shoved, and we were like, oh, LSU might have found something here from the Vanderbilt kid. And then if he wasn't located at his off speed, it all kind of falls apart. But if he can find that groove again, he's not a bad pitcher.
He's talented.
He's going through a tough stretch.
Yeah.
Especially when you have limited opportunities.
Right.
So the magnifying glass gets hot.
No doubt.
Next one. Oh, Kentucky up 1-0. Just hit a bomb over Ball State. I'm kind of watching that game too. Who would you like to bring in to close the game out? I'll save that one for later. But
I mean, there's really not much later.
Okay.
There's not many minutes for later.
Yeah,
there's not much of a list to me.
Gavin Guidry.
Yep.
One of one right now.
If I had to pick anybody on the team right now to close the game right now, it'd be Gavin Guidry.
One of one right now.
Yeah.
And that's what they interviewed Skeens. Obviously, they all been doing their pregame, whatever interviews yesterday. And he was talking about, like, who's the leader on the team. He's like, Guidry. Like, he's a freshman. He's like, I couldn't tell. And so they got supreme confidence in him going. Yeah. He's like, what is he, 18, 19? Doesn't matter. The guy's a leader.
No doubt.
And he was like that at bar. He carried himself the way he carries himself in high school.
Yeah.
He just carried it over.
Confident, man.
Yeah.
Confident. That goes a long way.
Yep.
So that's a closer.
How many bombs do we see this weekend from LSU? Or we could cut that down to today, because that was also a question. And then over the weekend. We've
talked about it. The weather's now hot, real hot.
Is it, how hot is it? Why do you keep saying
it's
that?
92 every day or something like that.
It's 88 right now.
It's around 90 all weekend.
With showers expected around 4 p.m.
It's summertime. It is hot. My point is saying the weather is warm. It's going to be a little breezy. The ball is going to be carrying. I believe that LSU for the weekend.
In a 3-game sample.
Get a
3-game sample.
7.
Hits 8 home runs.
I was going to say 7. I'm going to go with 7.
Okay.
Over 3-game sample, I'm going with 7.
Today, I think they hit 4.
I was going to go 3-2-2. So
10.
God
Oh.
damn, Lloyd.
Oregon State they lost. If they have to play Oregon State, they have their top 2 starters are out. You get into their bullpen. Sam Houston State would have to burn their ace against Oregon State if they win. So you might run into a scenario where they run out of pitching and you start getting some cookies.
Okay.
That's great, but in 3-game sample, if you're telling me 10, Jesus.
That's more than 3 a game. I respect
At this point of the year, too.
9.
Woo.
No. I'll take
10.
10. Don't.
I'm
Yeah, don't
not
jump off of it now.
Stand
You already
on it.
said it.
Yeah, don't waver.
Like
Own
live.
it.
Own it.
Own it, Mike.
This is live, coach. You
Own
can't
it.
jump off of it now.
You're
You
talking about
already said
Moses. Yeah, I'm talking about Moses Malone. Yeah, I know who Moses Malone
Malone
is.
is.
I know who it is. You sure you don't want to go back? Own it. Own
No, I
it.
take it back.
Yeah, I take that.
No, I'm standing on 10.
Okay. All right.
Multi-homer game. Picks to click, and then
Yeah, there we go. I would like a multi-homer game.
Me
from
too.
DC, but could happen. You never know. All right, picks to click. You want to go first? Or you want me to go?
Yeah. Today, Tommy, give it to me.
Joe Bear.
That's a great pick.
Stars got to be stars right now. Give it to me.
He's rested.
Nice and rested.
Joe Bear?
Yeah,
Your turn.
Joe Bear.
Oh, you're going Joe Bear for the outfit?
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna do. Damn it. Give me Travinsky.
I mean, that's a good pick
Let
too.
the man cook.
I honestly, and this is, as I'm thinking about this whole pick to click, it just popped in my head, and I feel pretty confident about it. I just feel like today Trey's gonna hit one out. Trey Morgan's gonna hit one.
Lefty
I don't know
lefty.
why. I think he's gonna hit a homer. He hits lefties really well.
He's been swinging it very well against lefties
Yeah.
this year. Because didn't he struggle against lefties last year?
Yeah, when he hurt his knee.
He's been hitting them very well this
Yeah.
year.
He's healthy.
All right, pick to click.
I mean, it's still got to come off the plate, so I wouldn't necessarily put it on the knee, but
Yeah. We're gonna do Thatcher's line, since he's the guy. Oh,
Well, let's see.
the line. Has he announced it yet?
I don't know. We can-
Boy, we're an hour and 45 minutes away from game time. No pitching.
Do you think he's making too much of this?
No.
no.
I think at this point it doesn't
I like
matter.
a little gamesmanship, man.
It doesn't
I
matter.
like
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, they know. Okay, here's the deal. The team that they're facing right now knows they're getting a right-handed pitcher that's going to throw mid to upper 90s.
Pretty much.
All 3 starters that you're going to face are going to be that one of those guys. That's it. So, screw it. It doesn't matter. Let's just go line.
Yeah, we don't have-
start the starter line today.
Starter line. There you go.
Starter.
It doesn't matter who it is. My line, I'll go with starter line today. I'll go with 6 1/3.
He's longest outing, tied for his longest outing of the year.
I said starter line.
Oh, sorry. We don't
6
know.
1/3.
I'd imagine it's Thatcher, but starter line.
9 punches, 3 walks, 3 runs.
Wow. It's a good line.
7 innings, 8 Ks, 2 walks, and 3 runs.
3 runs would suck.
3
Why?
runs over 7 would not suck.
Oh, over 7. I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be a blanket. I feel like they're just going to blank
That's
him.
pretty much a blanket. If
Yeah.
you give me 7 and
Yeah,
only
I
3
Go for
runs.
it. What do you got?
Since I feel like I'm going to say 5 1/3, 6 Ks, 3 walks, 2 runs, 1 unearned.
Okay. I'm thinking 6 innings. And I'm doing this because of who I think's going to start. This is the starter line, but
It would obviously be different if we thought it was Skeens.
Check my Twitter if Skeen starts today.
Yeah.
Own it.
I'm going 6 innings pitched. I'm going 10 punchies. Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think that I think Thatcher matches up like with his pitches. I think he matches up really well against his team. Who like has some swinging, a lot
Did
of
he
swing
throw
and
against
miss.
him earlier in the year, by the way?
I don't
Did he
think
come
so.
in that game, man? I didn't think so.
But he's got a lot of
threw it?
swing and miss in his.
Bender's catching up with him.
Christian Little threw.
Okay.
He's got a lot of swing and miss. They got a lot of swing and miss in their lineup. They hit some homers. I think that he's got enough stuff.
Yeah.
So I got 6 innings, 10 strikeouts. I'm gonna say they're gonna give up 2 earned runs, and
It always feels like there's an unearned mix in there with LSU.
that's it, maybe. But that's my line. All right, let's go through our sponsors. On Friday we don't really do our segments.
I
but
know I didn't put any together. I know
That's
who
fine.
my curtain call for me is Joe Bear. Somebody's got to loosen the clubhouse up. I love a guy that
I
comes
think,
in there
look-
when it feels a little business tight and you're gonna be like, look,
I don't
boys,
think
come
that I don't think this clubhouse is worrying about loosening themselves up. I think they got a lot of guys in there that can do that.
I agree, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like, it's nice to see it outwardly as opposed to inwardly, because the amount of coverage and strain around the team for the last week has been obnoxious to a point to where they probably are feeling a little bit like, what are they even talking about? They're making up narratives at this point. Like, let's just go play baseball. So you get a guy that comes in here and does like a Bo Didier moment where you're like, oh, of course he does. You know,
Right.
like okay, this is what I expected to see.
Right.
Glad to see the boys are still the boys.
But actually, Thatcher did close that game out. He threw an inning, struck out 2, walked 1.
Okay, there you go. But I'd imagine he starts do that 6 innings,
Times
two
2.
strikeouts an inning. It'd be 12. That'd be a great outing. All right, that's a good curtain call. My curtain call is literally curtain call is brought to you by our friends here at Shirt Partners. My curtain call is to postseason baseball here in Baton Rouge again. Like,
It's crazy. It's
it's been a little while, and it is some of the most fun outside of actually tailgating for football games. Like, this energy that you get in Alex Box is one of the most fun things you can experience. That's my curtain call.
I mean, I could go with the box all day. It'll give me chills. It's a great curtain call. My curtain call, I'm gonna stay kind of close to the box since we have a picture of the same build, right? So it kind of will remind you of this. But my curtain call is going to go to finally at the ripe age of 50. We have officially have a retired Bartolo Colon.
No.
Finally,
Finally.
he came out and said it.
Came out and said it.
Big sexy,
officially.
baby. Came out and said it.
One little short story about him. When I first got into pro ball, I had a hamstring injury I was kind of dealing with through the end of the College World Series, right? So when I got there for the first week and a half, the White Sox were just like, look, you're not going to play. Let's get this hammy right. Then we'll get you out there. I mean, whatever, bro. I'm just here. The season ends in a month and a half. No
Right.
big deal. Whatever.
I didn't
So I was like,
expect to play.
yeah, whatever. No, I expected to play, but I'm like, where am I going to go this year? Whatever. No big deal. So I don't play, right? First road trip we go to Savannah, the Giants, A-ball. Down coming from Chicago on big league rehab was Bartolo Colon and Carlos Quentin. I don't know if you remember that name at all. Stanford, big guy. They both came there. Colon threw that game and threw an absolute gem. Probably 3 innings or whatever.
Moving
whatever.
balls this much.
I'm talking balls just singing all over the place, right? But he came back in the dugout after his final inning. He goes, hey, I don't know how you guys hit in this league. He goes, I'm getting about this much off the plate. Good luck. I was like, good for you.
Good.
So, yeah, that was my first time ever meeting him, and I was like, man, this guy's, he gets it. I
Yeah,
like
he
it.
gets it. Bartolo Colon.
Great spread after the game, obviously.
Obviously. You know.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Anybody else got one? You got one? You already gave yours? You got one?
Mine's the Joe Bear's pregame fit. Kind of goes with my pick to click.
Okay, there you go.
Shows the boys are loose, ready to play some ball.
Absolutely. And I have a mistake of the day, obviously.
Oh, brought to you by our friends at Does. He plays.
Yes. Does he plays? Shirt Partners brings you the.
What? What did you say?
I said I have a mistake of the day.
I know, but what did you just say after the Does he
And I
plays?
said curtain call, obviously brought to you by.
Oh, I said that. Shirt Partners.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just tying them both together.
You said it really fast. Could not understand what you said. But go ahead.
I think Silver's going to be singing. My mistake of the day.
Now full count with the bases
Get
loaded.
on
Mike
fire.
Trout on deck.
No, this
Trying
is
to run
the
at
same
second.
one.
Go
though.
ahead, run it first.
Is it not?
No, this is another bad call.
Oh, this is the one I
Very
was talking
bad call.
about.
Very bad call.
Oh, you're talking about the one where you got in
Oh, yeah,
close
this
space.
isn't the one.
Yeah, it was who was hitting? It was a shortstop for the same.
Pena.
For them.
For
Pena.
Astros.
Yeah, it was Pena.
So Pena was hitting.
I can
Right,
find that
shortstop-
one too. That's the one I
shortstop-
saw and I was like, oh, here it
Shortstop
is.
for the Astros. The Jerry Lane was the umpire.
Yeah.
Right? These older umpires, man, they are they're a lot. They're stubborn. They don't like to have conversation. They think that whatever they say is right and whatever. And so Jerry Lane,
Home run.
so he's the umpire. He's the home plate umpire. I'm playing in Tampa. This is 2016, and I had just come off of a broken hand. So I had ripped my oblique. I had come back from that probably too early, but I was playing. Then I broke my hand, and so I've finally come back from that. And so we're playing, and I'm in this like abysmal stretch at this part of the season. It's in August, and I'm probably like 0 for 30 in the middle of the season. Like, right? Like,
It's tough.
but like it's not even like
Not even stressed.
and I've talked on the show before about like the steps of a slump, right? Hey, you're hitting balls hard, but you're not finding grass, they're getting caught, and then now that goes into I got to try to do more, and now you're not hitting balls hard, and then now you get past that and like you're getting every bad call possible, and like you're just in a bad spot. So I'm in that
Show
spot.
up to the ballpark is 0-2.
Yeah,
God,
exactly.
dog, I ain't even in the lineup yet.
Hey, I'm in that spot, and like this is I don't have that many at bats because I've been hurt, right? And so I think my average at the time was like 175 or 180 or whatever it was.
Well, I mean, today that'd be fine.
Yeah, right.
Don't make a big
Right.
deal about it.
And so I'm sitting there, and Jerry Lane's the umpire, and the first pitch is like way down, like almost like basically digs it out the dirt. Strike.
Sir.
And I was like, Jerry, that's not a strike. Like,
First named him?
well, you always talk to the first name.
Oh, you got to.
You always-
Oh,
yeah.
you have to.
Yeah.
Or you get no love.
Yeah. I was like, Jerry, that's not a strike. Like that ball got picked off the dirt, and he didn't want to have anything about it. He said, Mike, you're hitting 175. Get back in the box.
Jerry! You couldn't hit 75,
Hey.
coach. What are you talking
Hey,
about?
and like I'm like already kind of in that motion of like getting back in the box as he's saying it, and I'm like, no way you just fucking said that to me. But this is like I'm still technically rookie status. Like I
Yeah.
just probably gotten over a year of service time,
Yeah,
but it
yeah.
was still rookie status. So I was like, fuck, I can't like.
Light him up.
I'm not
I
playing
can't go
wild.
at his neck
I can't
right
go
now.
at his neck, and I'm like still trying to like. So then he says it, and I'm like, I like hesitate in the box. I'm like, fuck. And then anyway, I end up getting out. So then I come back to the dugout, and like I got out, and like I'm as I'm walking back from first, I'm staring at Jerry. I'm looking at him at home plate. I'm like, this motherfucker really said you're hitting 175. Get back in the box. Like that matters on you calling a ball or strike. Well, that should be a ball or strike. It shouldn't matter. So I get back in the dugout, and I'm putting my stuff in the rack and whatever. And Longo is there. He goes, "Hey, what did Jerry tell you?" And I told him. He's like, "And you're still in the game?" He goes, "I would have been tossed. Like, he has no right to say anything. I don't care if you're 1 day in the big leagues or 10 years in the big leagues. Like, he should never fucking talk to you that way." And so, he, like, basically said, if that ever happens again, you go at his neck. And so that was my Jerry Lane story. It was brutal. Same thing, like,
Hey, you're a better man than me. I promise you that.
hey, dude, but he caught me so off guard. Like,
Yeah.
he said it as I'm like getting back in the box. I'm like, did he really just tell me
Like,
that?
at the least, what he would have got from me is literally
literally, Tom, what did you say
I'd
to
have
me?
just, like, did you just say? All right.
Bro,
Okay.
it was wild.
Jerry,
Wild.
you about to hit 175 in age. Shut up.
Yeah, wild.
Good Lord.
So I'm glad that he got. I mean, that's just bad.
That's so funny.
Yeah, prick. But but
Hall of Fame.
that's it. That's all we got for the show today. People, short 1 hour pregame show. Appreciate everybody for tuning in and listening to us. We'll see y'all at the box today, and hopefully tomorrow night, and hopefully on Sunday night. Enjoy the game.
Enjoy Heineken Silver.
Enjoy Heineken Silver. Also, before we go, shout out to our newest sponsors, our newest partners, Land Rover at Peretti and Baton Rouge. They this beautiful ticker that we have, they are the sole sponsor of that ticker and the sponsor of our show. They're great people down there at Peretti Land Rover.
Give him a holler.
Give them a shout.
Keep the show ticking.
Keep the show
That's a great.
ticking. Good job, Lloyd.
We're going to see him this weekend, too, by the way. So
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Be great.
Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy your Friday. We'll be back live here on Monday. Recap the entire weekend. Talk about what we saw and moving forward. And yeah, that's it.
Final score?
Enjoy the weekend. Final score of this game. I bet the over, so I'd like for it to be 15 total runs. So let's go with.
Say it at the same time. 3, 2,
12 to 3.
4. Okay, nice.
12 to 3.
Nice.
All right. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the game. You're watching Mik'd Up. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you can't watch us and you like to listen to us, or anywhere you get your pods, again, thank you for all the support. We will see you Monday. Peace.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.